What's up, everybody? Welcome to Malaga. This is in Fresno, California. It's just like a small little hood in Fresno. And we're going to explore and show you guys what a residential neighborhood looks like in Fresno. We're going to do the side view, which is usually kind of a tricky little scenario in urban areas because people can tell you're recording and they really don't seem to like it. We're on Frank and Grand right now. We're just going to explore this area. And again, the side view can be really tricky in urban areas because people just don't like it when you're clearly recording them. Maybe the people here won't mind, but in other places when we're down the side view, it's a great angle to kind of like get a feel for the place. But it's definitely a little tricky with feedback from the locals when they see we're clearly recording in the neighborhood. But we'll drive through here and see what it looks like and show you guys what the hoods of Fresno, California look like. Demographically, this area is mostly H or W, but there's no real. A lot of times, people in the United States feel like a hood has to be a certain, background, but that's not true. Hood can be any background. There's no specific thing that a hood has to be. Hood can be anything. So, all across the world, there's hundreds of countries, and every one of those countries has good and bad areas. So there's hoods all across the world, and the word hood is nothing more than a shortened up version of neighborhood. So when we say the word hood, we're really just saying neighborhood. The word hood comes from the word neighborhood. It just means just a more casual way of saying neighborhood. People always get tripped up on that vocabulary, because that's just the way people are. Getting tripped up about vocabulary. American people are so petty when it comes to stuff like that. American people, for some reason, really struggle with. It's an uncomfortable subject in the United States for a lot of people. It's not for me because I was born in Cuba, and which is different countries have different views. Like, I have friends that live in Europe, and they're very straightforward about it, more than I would be. It's just weird how, as you travel, different places have different, ways of doing things, different vocabulary people use, different, how far you can. The United States is one culture where people are very reclusive about social issues and openly talking about social issues. It's almost like if people in the United States feel like if they don't talk about these issues, if they avoid talking about the issues, then it's better. But I'm not exactly sure. I feel Americans are so uncomfortable with topics of social issues, especially because I feel like the vast majority are on the winning end of these issues. They're on the better side of the issue, and they really like to. In the United States, people suppress. Like, if you do talk about social issues, they almost want to suppress you for it. And they don't want people to talk about social issues because they're uncomfortable with it, so they don't want other people to talk about it. The United States has some really interesting, how Doug DeMuro would say, quirks and features of the United States. And even within the United States, there's different cultures. You have, here in California, you have a lot of Mexican American. You have Native American out west. You have Cajun Creole in Louisiana. In Florida, you have Cuban and Haitian Creole. You have French also towards Vermont, close to Canada. The United States was not really one particular group of people. The English were the largest, but initially there was the French, there was the Spanish, the Portuguese. Even in a lot of places here in California, the Portuguese were big too, not just the Spanish. So the United States is like a melting pot of all these different countries and cultures. But English being the predominant one has kind of suppressed a lot of cultures. And some cultures, they're suppressed easier. Like, it seems like, for example, the French is a very easily suppressed culture where they lose their French, they lose or they mix very quickly and they lose it. Like, that's happened a lot in the United States with the French, with a few exceptions like Louisiana, which which also had a lot of Spanish influence. But the French, like in Cuba has a lot of French. Believe it or not, a lot of people who are Cuban, Caribbean, they always feel like they're more Spanish. But a lot of Caribbean people are actually French. A lot of French Caribbean. But that French was suppressed to where it's non-existent. The only place it's really present is in the culinary food. See, like when you like Cubans and Mexicans, when you go to a restaurant, they're always going to have desserts. You'll notice quite a lot of French influence in the culinary side of things, but you don't really notice it anywhere else, and that's an interesting aspect of it. That there are areas where the French were able to kind of maintain their cultural influence, and one of them was definitely in cuisine. I'm gonna go this way. Good?
Yeah.
Let's go. GPS. There's a lot of old school cars here. I love the old school cars, man. Housing here must be ridiculously expensive. Probably like $500,000 and up range. Look how hood that house looks. I wish I was driving the other way. You guys can see how hood this house on the other side of the road looks. A lot of wood people outside. Raiders for life. Beer cans outside. And they're definitely they're looking at us, giving us hard looks. Maybe time to get up out of here.
Yes.
Good thing there's no cars in the driveway. They can come chase us. I'm gonna go one block up. Good thing there's no cars in the driveway. They can come chase us. They have to run if they want to catch up with us. I love the cars, man. Lord. Oh, the 350 SS. I wonder if it really is a 350 SS. That would be rare. They're starting to get really, I guess I've seen more Yukons in California, Arizona too. Raiders, so they're big on the Raiders here. Go Raiders! Left. On Muskrat?
Yes, and then you're gonna make another left as well.
Oh, that car's flying.
Where that
Unbelievable. Dude, that car is flying. Hey, go Raiders! I guess they're big on the Raiders here. We should probably leave this one. Definitely people notice this round through. Time to get out. Is this where the homeless people are?
Yes, but turn left.
Alright.